Hi, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Queens of the Ring. I am Sarah here with my lovely, beautiful, talented, funny co host, Miss Denise. And
Hello.
we're here to talk about a bunch of wrestling stuff with you guys. So you will find us on the Hardcore Sports Network and also Stream Punk Entertainment. Please like and subscribe to both those networks, and go ahead and follow them on social media platforms. That would be greatly appreciated. I know the likes definitely help us out a lot. So we definitely appreciate you guys. But yeah, so we've got quite a bit to discuss tonight. Just for our new viewers on Stream Punk, we just wanted to introduce ourselves a little bit to you guys since we're new and so you guys get to know us a little bit. So I came to the Hardcore Sports Network because I actually was in the chat watching Earl Cole's show, his watch alongs that he does, and I would comment and ask questions. Earl invited me to be a guest on his the Wrestling Experience show that he does on Thursday evenings. I did that, and then Mitch and Earl invited me to do a AEW Dynamite watch along with them. So I did that, and yeah, just the rest is history. So just kind of fell into this. It wasn't anything that I planned on doing, but I have an awful lot of fun and I've met some amazing people like Denise and Mitch and Earl and Naughty Blaze and everybody at Hardcore Sports have just been wonderful and supportive. So yeah, so that's kind of how I got into doing how I got into doing this. So what about you, Denise?
I got into Hardcore Sports Network through someone who is actually no longer a part of the Hardcore Sports Network family. And I am actually no longer associated with them. I kind of feel like I was friends with this person to bring me to where I am now because it brought me Sarah, it brought me Mitch, it brought me Earl, it brought me Blaze, it brought me so many amazing people, and like created this little family that I love. I mean, it allows me to talk about what I love every single week and everything. So I mean, it's been a fun, yeah, maybe about a year or
I
so,
think, yeah,
maybe.
I think a little over a year because I was doing the Raw watch along with Earl when you joined, and we were doing it, pretty regularly. Mitch, Mitch, you're so funny. Mitch says, "Yay, I feel loved."
Feel loved
Well,
and
we love you.
controlled.
We do love you, Mitch.
And we
Yeah,
love trolls.
we love to, we love you, and we love to troll you, Mitch. Um,
Love
but yeah, I think it's been over a year because see, oh, Wesley, thank you for being here too. Definitely, yeah. Mitch is love. We definitely love Mitch.
we
Um, I don't think either Denise or I would be here if it wasn't for Mitch.
mm-mm.
So, um, and I know Mitch has helped me feel more comfortable
Oh yeah.
um, in just, talking to you guys and sharing our thoughts and our viewpoint um, about things, whether it's wrestling or other stuff. But yeah, I mean, it's funny because I think of you guys like family, and family doesn't always have to be blood.
Yep.
That's one thing I've learned throughout the years in my adulthood is family doesn't always have to be related by blood.
Mm-hmm.
Um, a lot of times you have folks that are in situations where their friends and coworkers treat them better than their actual blood family does, which, you've got things like that too. So, um, I mean, and I love watching wrestling. Wrestling is my escape.
Yep.
There's a lot going on with work. I travel for work sometimes out of state. So I'm in Wisconsin. I live in southeastern Wisconsin outside of Milwaukee. So Denise and Mitch know this about me, but yeah, so I work in the HR department for a material handling company. And when there's like acquisition, so when my company is buying another material handling company, if they're in the territory that I cover, I have to travel because I have to onboard and welcome all these new employees. So I do have to travel occasionally for work. It hasn't been too bad yet, but just the stressors of work and stressors of stuff going on with family. Wrestling is when I can just turn my brain off and enjoy what I'm watching and get immersed in the stories that are being told and the matches and things like that. And I know you feel very similarly to that,
Yeah.
Denise.
Yes, they do.
Yep. So
You.
that's kind of how it's kind of how Denise and I came to the Hardcore Sports Network. So I do Queens of the Ring on Tuesday. I also do the AEW Dynamite Watch Along with Mr. Earl Cole on Wednesday evenings, and then I do all the WWE PLE events that they have on because those are on Saturdays. I was doing. I mean, you know this, Denise. I was like almost every night with Earl with watch alongs or whatever. And it just
Mhm.
home stuff, it just got to be way too much. I'm like, I can't keep up this pace because I'm getting really burned out. So I decided to take a step back. And Queens of the Ring, we only used to do once a month because of all the other watch alongs and stuff that I did. So when I was able to take a step back, I was like, okay, what do I want to do? Um, and I approached Mitch and, of course, Denise about doing Queens of the Ring every week instead of just once a month. And they were both on board with it. And Mitch has been super duper supportive with everything. So, um, yeah, so that's it's a little bit about us and how we came to be with hardcore sports and now Stream Punk. We're with Stream Punk because of, through Mitch, which is absolutely amazing. And just wonderful. So I'm really excited. We're really excited for the opportunity to, meet new people, get different, perspectives about, wrestling and all of that. I'm really excited to meet new people and get to talk with everybody. So, but yeah, so we've got a couple of things we're going to talk about this evening. And the first topic we're going to discuss, sorry, guys.
Oh, thank you, Patrick. Appreciate that.
Oh, thank you, Patrick. That was so very nice and welcome. Thank you for being here with us tonight. We really appreciate it. Um, but yeah, so the first topic we're going to talk about, I know I've heard a lot of rumblings, read a lot of rumblings on social media. It's about the Motor City Machine Guns becoming WWE Tag Champions on SmackDown. I can't recall. Okay, so I'm drawing a blank right now. Are they called is it a different tag championship? Is it like the SmackDown Tag Championships? Is it the WWE Tag Team Championships? Like I know there probably is something to differentiate the Raw ones from the SmackDown ones, but I don't recall what they are. So
It's
oh, I love them. They're so great and they're so cute. Oh, I just was so happy for them. First, I got very panicked because I'm like, no, you just had a match. What are you guys doing?
yeah, I was just like, oh, they're doing this. They're really doing okay.
I was like, oh no. I'm like, please don't, because the bloodline, they're gonna be sneaky and underhanded, and they're gonna try to do, cheat to win and shenanigans. And people know I don't like shenanigans when it's done all the time. And it drives me nuts. Like Earl says, the bloodline, it's the same every time. That's why I couldn't stand towards, I don't know, the last few years, Roman Reigns being champion, because it was the same crap every single match. you'd have somebody come in and interfere, and then the referee gets knocked out, and then they cheat. Then one of the Usos or Solo comes in and cheats, and then miraculously the referee wakes up and Roman wins. And it's like, I'm like, this is so boring. So boring.
Oh,
Boring, boring, boring. So I was very concerned. First of all, I do not think it is too soon. When you look up the Motor City Machine Guns, these guys are, which is Chris Sabin, who, if you guys are looking at the picture on the screen, Chris Sabin is the guy on my right.
he's the one without the
And
hair in his face.
yeah, Alex Shelley is Alex. Yeah, Alex Shelley is on the left, and Chris Sabin is with the
on the
shorter
right.
hair. Alex Shelley's got the longer hair. But these guys are probably one of the most decorated tag teams in all of pro wrestling.
Yeah.
They have competed and been in matches all over the world, both individually and as a tag team. And doing a little bit of research, because I was like, when I first was hearing rumblings months ago of them coming over to WWE, I was like, okay, I want to learn more about these guys because that name sounds familiar. I guess they were in TNA for a long time. But I'm like, I just want to know more about these guys. And I think it's absolutely amazing that Alex Shelley, he's a licensed physical therapist.
No shit.
He is a physical therapist. Seriously, he is
That's
a physical
awesome.
therapist. Isn't that cool? So,
no idea.
I mean, he's got, and I think that's super duper smart because, wrestling is, as I say all the time, wrestling is not fake. It is very much real. And these guys and gals, they put their bodies on the line day in and day out simply for our entertainment, for our enjoyment. So I think it's super smart to do something, have something to fall back on. Because, you're not going to wrestle your entire life.
Yep, exactly.
So, most definitely. But these two guys are one of the most decorated tag teams in professional wrestling. In doing a little bit of research on them, I looked them up on YouTube and watched some of their matches. They are amazing. They gel so well together. They work in tandem so well together, like a well-oiled machine, as the saying goes. Hey, Earl, how's it going? I see you in the chat. Thanks for joining us tonight, friend. But yeah, I don't think it's too soon. I knew the match they were going to have with DIY. I'm like, okay, after watching Motor City Machine Guns' first match in WWE, I'm like, these guys are it. If there is anybody that can help kind of jumpstart the tag division, it's these guys. And after their first match, I was very, very impressed with them. Very impressed. And it especially, and I think we talked about this last week, Denise. We heard rumors they were originally, they had requested to start off in NXT, but then WWE moved them up to the main roster. And I'm like, these guys do not belong in NXT. Absolutely not.
Especially with their resume and like the experience.
Oh yeah, definitely, for sure.
Like individually and as a tag team.
Oh yeah. I don't think they belong in NXT. Like they are way above that. Just like, if you hear of Penta and Rey Fenix from AEW going to WWE, they need to be on the main roster. They definitely do not belong in NXT at all whatsoever. These are guys, especially with Motor City Machine Guns, these guys have they've been wrestling almost 20 years. They don't belong on the developmental brand at all whatsoever. But very impressed with their first match. So I knew their match with DIY. I'm like, this is going to be a banger match. This is going to be great. I'm very confident that Motor City Machine Guns are going to win. DIY, they already had their opportunity.
Yeah.
to
Yes, they
be
do.
tag champs, even though it was short. I didn't like how short it was, their title reign was. I don't agree with that because I was clamoring for DIY to win the tag belts, and they finally did, and then they only had the tag belts for like a month or something. I think 3 weeks, 4 weeks. They were champions. I'm like,
Yeah.
it was very, very short. So I was very disappointed with that, but very glad that Motor City Machine Guns won. And then, like I said, my heart just sank, and I got very nervous when they accepted the Bloodlines challenge to wrestle right away. I'm like, oh, no, 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 no. Please don't do them dirty like this. Please don't do them dirty like this. I was very scared.
No, for me, I mean, I was kind of half paying attention to SmackDown on Friday, but I was watching it. But I mean,
Yeah.
like, after like the having this huge tag team who is so well known in TNA and then brings their talent over to WWE, and they immediately get put into this competition, whatever the heck y'all want to call it, to go up against the bloodline
Bloodline.
for the titles. It's just like there's no way that they were gonna have them lose that first match. One, two, no disrespect to Ciampa and Gargano. These two are a hell of a lot more talented than the two of them. They're a better tag team than Ciampa and Gargano. So to have them go like there was no doubt that they were going to beat DIY to go up against the bloodline. But and then it was just like too, I mean, in a way, like for me, just because they literally got brought into WWE, that's the only reason it would be too soon for me. But at the same time, it's not just because of how talented, well liked, and like as you said, well oiled they are together to be tag team champions. And I wasn't worried that they weren't like as soon as like because even like during that match, I mean, I was only paying half attention to the match for the titles, but as soon as like Motor City Machine Guns, I was like, I had a feeling they were gonna let them win that. I'm like, they're not gonna let them lose that. Like, come on. There's no way. And they're even better. They're a better tag team than who Tonga Low and who
Tamatanga and Tangaloa.
who?
One of whom can't manage to throw Cody Rhodes in the corner. We got that. Or when he goes to give Kevin Owens a nut shot, he hits his brother in the head.
Yeah, yeah.
Just like, oh my gosh. Like, and for me, this was 100% the right call.
Oh, absolutely.
The bloodline they were not doing anything with those titles. They weren't defending them. They were not elevating those titles. With the titles, or with Motor City Machine Guns having the titles, they are going to be better represented. The titles will be elevated. They will be defended. So I can imagine after, that triple threat match they had to qualify to go up against the bloodline, I can imagine we're going to get them versus the Street Profits. I could see Pretty Deadly. I could see a bunch of possibilities with them. And I am here for it because that's one thing that WWE's really needed to get better at was their tag team division. So and the same can be said on Raw.
Look at what we have now.
Right? Yeah. So I'm so happy for them. Very well deserved. And I'm really excited to get to see what they do. Let's hope that they start having like tag matches on PLEs again. I think that would be really great.
Yes.
Because it seems like since WrestleMania, there really has not been a big emphasis on tag matches at any PLE, much less a large one like SummerSlam or something. Which makes me wonder what we're going to see maybe at Survivor Series. I think that would be kind of cool to have something come up so you can, because that gives WWE enough time to build a good, decent storyline with Motor City Machine Guns. And while we're talking about tag wrestling, get the titles off Judgment Day. No.
Yeah. Nope.
No. Judgment Day needs to. No. I'm over Judgment Day. The whole Liv Morgan thing. It just. She needs to lose. Yeah, she needs to lose the title. The title needs to go back to Rhea Ripley. She is another one. She may as well. It's a fashion accessory, like earrings or a necklace at this point for her. Same thing. You know what I mean? I mean, she never defends the dang thing. And the same can be said for the tag belts. They are never defended. And I'm so glad that they brought that up, because I think a lot of folks were maybe, whether it's on social media or maybe I don't know if there's a way to like write to WWE and let them know, I'm glad that they're listening to the fans, because I'm sure a lot of people called it out like, hello, why are they never defending the title? So I'm really glad that Adam Pearce brought that about on Raw, and they're doing the same thing. And it'll be nice to see some different teams have these tag titles so they can be better represented and defended.
Yeah, exactly.
But I'm so happy for Motor City Machine Guns, though. That made me so happy. So happy for them. And I was waiting. So it's also, when they said they were doing that match that night, I was like, oh, watch out. I'm like, because I have a feeling. I said, we're going to be yeeting all over ourselves before the end of SmackDown on Friday. We are going to be yeeting on ourselves, like Pat McAfee says. We're going to be yeeting on ourselves.
We're going to be yeeting all over the place.
We're going to be yeeting all over the place before the end of SmackDown. And that is exactly what happened.
Yep.
I was, so happy to see Jay. And when he hugged Jimmy, I was like, oh my gosh. Oh, so happy. So, I mean, and SmackDown's, I feel like they've been a little lackluster lately. So you've got you got this new tag team in there. Jay Uso's been on SmackDown the last couple weeks. And I'm thinking, especially with Survivor Series coming now, obviously nothing's been announced yet, but I wouldn't be surprised if they did Bloodline versus Bloodline in a War Games match. And you gotta figure they only have 4 weeks until Survivor Series, so a little more than 4 weeks. So they've got to start building these storylines up in rapid fashion. They have to be firing on all cylinders. So whether it's this match, the blood, with Motor City Machine Guns, or with the Bloodline or anyone else, like they really need to get moving on these storylines. And I think that's because I heard people rumbling on not Facebook, but just on social media that they were complaining that the Bloodline stuff is being shown on both Raw and SmackDown, where there's only, again, like I said, 4 weeks, a little more than that, until Survivor Series. So they need to be able to tell the story over the course of both Raw and SmackDown. Otherwise, you could have an entire 2-hour show be just Bloodline stuff.
Please, no.
Nobody wants to see that. I know I don't want to see that. I'm sure there probably are some fans out there that would, but yeah, no, I don't want to see nothing but Bloodline stuff.
No, I'm good. Thanks.
No, I don't want to see just Bloodline stuff all the time. So, but I thought it was cool. Jay played a part in them winning. It fed into the Bloodline storyline, and I'm just super pumped to see what Motor City Machine Guns do. I'm really excited. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I think people who maybe aren't as familiar with them, go look them up on YouTube, guys. Seriously. They've got a lot of stuff.
Fire together and separate. They are fire.
Yes.
TNA.
Yes. Go and look them up. Watch some matches of theirs on TNA. They are amazing. They are so good together. But yeah, so I don't think it's too soon at all. I think it's definitely was much needed. Much needed.
Yeah.
Shot of adrenaline to the tag division for sure. So I'm very happy about it.
Big time.
But yeah, so kind of feeds in. We were just talking a little bit about the bloodline. So, this is something that's been on my mind when Paul Heyman's going to return. I hope it's soon. I miss him.
No.
You don't?
No, I said no, I know. No, I do too.
Oh, I thought you said I don't. I'm like,
No.
oh, okay. I'm like, well, tell me what you think. Like,
no, like when they put him through the table, I was just like,
oh my gosh.
What did I just do? No, not Paul.
My heart dropped into my stomach. I'm like, you do realize this guy, he's an older gentleman.
Yep.
He's not a small man. So I was afraid of Paul Heyman getting hurt. I was afraid of, Solo or Jacob Fatu or any of the guys he's not a small man.
No.
But Paul Heyman's not a wrestler. Like,
yeah, exactly.
he has not been conditioned to be put through announce tables. But I appreciate the fact that he takes stuff like this so seriously, that he is so passionate about pro wrestling and the wrestling business, that Paul Heyman was willing to even do that. And I heard rumors too that like he didn't sleep or he didn't sleep like the night before, and he didn't shave that morning. So that's why his eyes were all bloodshot, and he had the 5 o'clock shadow going on, and he really played the part well.
Oh yeah, he did. He knows when to he knows what he's doing. That's why he's If you're gonna have because since he's not necessarily talent, if you are going to have a goat for that's not in the ring, anything of that nature, you're looking at him right here.
Oh yeah, that is 100% somebody that you would want to have backing, like in your corner, just imparting, like you said, while he's not a wrestler, while he's not like in ring talent, he has got such a mind for wrestling. He has got so much knowledge from his years of experience in the business that, you'd be crazy not to take his advice.
Exactly. Yeah.
So I'm sure if Paul Heyman says, "Hey guys, I'm good. You can, I'm totally down to do this." That's, that gave them the go ahead to do it. But still, like, my heart dropped down to into my stomach. I was like, oh God. But I'm hoping that he returns before Survivor Series, because I think we're going to really start seeing, and we already have started to see the ramp up. I think we're going to see some bloodline stuff happening on both Raw and SmackDown to really drive the storyline where WWE wants it to go for Survivor Series. Now, again, this is just pure conjecture on my part, because, again, nothing has been announced yet, but it's pretty safe to say that they have, like, the biggest feud going on right now is the bloodline from Wish.com and the original the OG bloodline.
Bloodline from
Wish.com bloodline, or Temu bloodline, as people have been known to call it. But yeah, it just, they're going to have to be doing stuff a little bit on Raw, a little bit on SmackDown, which is perfectly fine. I don't have a problem with it. I think last night, there was like 4 segments, like little bloodline things sprinkled throughout Raw last night, and I thought it was fine. Like, it wasn't gratuitous. I don't feel it was too much, but again, it advanced the story.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a really big, part. I think that's an important part is it's not, you don't just have these guys on TV just for the sake of having them on
And
TV.
on
There has to be
TV,
some kind
exactly.
of purpose.
Yeah.
And I know Paul, I've read, I'm not sure if I read it on social media or maybe I watched something where Paul Heyman said that I will come back when when it's called for in the storyline for me to come back. And I'm
Mhm.
thinking, Roman and Jimmy and Jay, yes, Roman and Jimmy definitely needed Jay. They needed another person. But, and I think that's also why we saw the introduction of finally Sami Zayn into the fold.
Oh,
Because
yes.
because he was introduced into the fold last night on Monday Night Raw. So,
Mm-hmm.
um, I think that is something that was definitely called for. I do not think it's too soon. Again, 4 weeks. 4 weeks. It means 4 episodes of Raw, 4 episodes of SmackDown until Survivor Series. Like they need to get a move on with this.
Yeah.
So even though you could have Roman, the Usos, and Sami Zayn, I think they're still gonna need a little bit of an edge over Solo's, bloodline. And I think Paul Heyman could be it.
Yeah. I already think, like, even though he's not present, that he is already a part of what is going on, just simply because of
Oh,
Roman.
100%.
Like, not like like Paul Heyman, the wise man. I
Yes.
think that him and Roman are obviously in cahoots and everything, and that's how they
Okay.
won me back, and that's how they finally got Jay. And I don't know. I'm still, I mean, because unless Solo gets one other person over, because I know they keep talking about different family members, Samoans coming in and stuff like that. If he can get um in like Jacob's ear and pull him over. I'm still like hope, I don't know, just like that he is the um like the sheep in wolf's clothing in the Timu bloodline and everything, and that he's like
That
the
Jacob is?
yes.
Well, I'm
I
wondering though. So I have been thinking along those lines for a while. Like, okay, I think Jacob Fatu is going to be the one to, like, he's a double agent,
yeah.
like Roman sent him to kind of scope out what's going on with Solo and everybody. But after Raw last week, where Jay was having his match with Braun Breaker, Solo pushed Jay out of the way so Jay didn't take that spear from Braun Breaker on the outside of the ring.
Okay.
Jacob, like, go back and watch it, guys, because Jacob saw that and he gave Solo a look like, dude, what in the world are you doing? Like, this is exactly what you want. Have him take out Jay and our problems are solved. And
Mm-hmm.
so I'm wondering if, because we all know The Rock, I'm not know because it hasn't been confirmed, but I'm fairly certain that The Rock is pulling the strings behind this fake bloodline.
Oh yeah.
And he's 100% pulling the strings. So I think what's going to happen is that they kick Solo out of that bloodline and Solo comes crawling back to them. Maybe not before Survivor Series, but I think
Hmm.
potentially maybe down the road is that they kick Solo out of the bloodline or they bring in another person to the Timu bloodline as you call it. They bring somebody else, another Samoan. I know like Zillafat 2 has been
Mhm.
mentioned. I know that Hikuleo has been mentioned. So who knows who the next one's going to be. But if they bring somebody else in and then they're like, oh yeah, by the way, they start beating up Solo and kick him out. There you go. You would have, you'd have balance there for the match. But
Yeah,
again, that would have to happen before Survivor Series.
And that would even give Solo a reason to want to go after them and everything, but he would have to grovel, beg, plead, apologize, kiss ass, anything, whatever, to get back and
Oh
to
gosh.
good graces, and I don't think that's ever gonna happen.
I don't think it is. I mean, look at he almost walks around like his what doesn't stink, like his own poo doesn't stink, because you've got, just by the way he was talking down to Jay. And that's exactly why Jay left the bloodline last year to begin with, was because of the way Roman talked down to him and treated him like a lackey and not cool. So Jay was like, deuces, I'm out. Peace. I'm going to bounce. I'm going to bounce on over to Raw and I'm out of here. I'm doing my own thing. And the way he was talking down to Jay, I'm like, yeah, this isn't going to bode well for Solo, because I don't think he'd be willing to swallow his pride and literally get on his hands and knees and beg Roman to take him back.
Yeah.
I don't foresee it happening. But like I said, it was a thought I had during, when I saw that happen last week on Raw.
There's so
but
much.
I really hope Paul Heyman returns soon, though, because I miss seeing him. I miss seeing his dynamic with Roman, and not that Roman's on every, he has been lately, but with storyline and stuff. But I miss seeing him. I miss seeing Paul Heyman. I miss seeing him. So, but another thing too I wanted to bring up is I wonder. So, kind of along these lines. So, next week with the election happening, they are doing AEW Dynamite, which is normally on Wednesdays. They have moved NXT from Tuesday night to Wednesday night because of the presidential election that's happening.
Okay.
And I believe that's the one where they're doing it, I think it's called the 2300 Club. It's basically, it's in Philly. It's where, I think it's one of the places where ECW used to take place.
Okay.
So I've heard rumors that they're calling in a bunch of former ECW wrestlers. I'm sure, well, maybe not RVD because he's been affiliated with AEW, but I could see Tommy Dreamer being there. I think that's why Bubba Ray Dudley was on NXT was on the NXT PLE that happened on Sunday, that Halloween Havoc. That's why Bubba Ray Dudley showed up, I guess. Yes. Okay. So I'm sure they're doing it not just because they're in Philly, but because they are going to head with AEW Dynamite on Wednesday. So of course they want to build up that show. But I wonder if we're going to see Paul Heyman somehow, maybe something bloodline related with that show. So that would be pretty cool, I think. A pretty cool welcome back for Paul Heyman to be involved on screen with the with the NXT guys and gals, and involved in something bloodline related, and then you've got the ECW people there. Like, it would just be super cool. I think it would be really cool. If that's when they choose to bring him back. Like I said, I know it's next week already, but Paul Heyman's been off the TV for a while. He's been off screen for a while now. So I'm very hopeful that they bring him back soon. So it's tough to say specifically when. It's up to WWE, unfortunately, because I'm sure if it was up to us fans, he
would have been back already.
He would have been back. He would have been back weeks ago. He would have been back weeks ago. So Denise and I, we are Paul Heyman fans. I love him. I think he's great. So I really hope he comes back sooner rather than later. But remember, he's only going to come back when the story calls for it. You know, he doesn't want to, he's very much of the mind that he doesn't want to take the spotlight away from anybody that's, you know, involved in that bloodline story. So, but I think that's maybe him being modest. Because he is. I mean, he was a huge part of it.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Because he associate Roman with Paul Heyman. I mean, Roman inducted him, did the induction speech for the Hall of Fame this year for him. I mean, come on now.
Mm-hmm.
So it's hard to have Roman and no wise man. So I really
exactly. You got to have the wise.
It's tough. Yep, I agree. I hope he comes back sooner rather than later, but definitely in time. Build up towards Survivor Series. I think that's going to be very important. He's probably going to feel like he needs all the help that he can get. And if he has somebody like the wise man advising him, helping him be, you know, making plans, making moves, I think that's going to help, you know, storyline wise anyway. I think that's going to help give them the edge over the Temu bloodline.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Absolutely. I definitely agree. I agree with that. Yeah, so I mean, if you guys want to chime in, please do. Please comment, you know, put a comment in the chat or a question. If you guys want to ask a question, Denise and I are super open to answering y'all's questions, or, you know, we want to invite everybody. You know, this is like kind of a safe space for people to give their thoughts and their opinions on, you know, anything really. I think Denise would agree, anything pro wrestling, even if I don't necessarily agree with you.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, how boring would the world be if we all agreed with each other?
Right.
I think it would be kind of boring. So, and I've learned a lot from Denise and Mitch and Earl and Blaze, just for their listening to their perspective on stuff. It's like, I never thought about it that way. That actually makes a lot more sense. Or, hey, I like that even better than what I was thinking. So, yeah, we want everybody to please feel free to put comments in the chat and questions. So I always like to open that up to everybody. But yeah, so the next topic or item we want to discuss, or I actually brought it up. I found it, so I can't check social media a ton, obviously, during work because I'm busy working. It's called work for a reason.
Right.
I'm not surfing social media. I'm not searching Twitter and social media while I'm at work, because then I wouldn't get any work done. But yeah, this is something I found very interesting. Is two things actually. So there's a story out that Vince McMahon is planning on starting a new entertainment company. So I was just like, wait, what? I'm like, what is going on? I'm like, this is very strange. Like, on one hand, I think it's strange because of all the stuff that's going on with the case and the controversies with just all the yuckiness that's going on. I'm like, why would you choose now as an appropriate time to put this out there, or even just create this entertainment company? But then I'm honestly surprised we didn't hear about this
sooner.
Ages ago. I'm honestly surprised we didn't hear about it ages ago. But yeah, I found it on a couple different platforms, but the article I have up is on Sports Illustrated. So Vince McMahon is starting a new entertainment company. It's going to be focusing apparently on, there's no name for it as of yet, but it's going to be focusing on TV and movies, both fiction and nonfiction. Even after, you know, with all the legal issues going on, I'm like, why are you guys? So they're not even going to announce anything further until his legal issues are resolved. I'm like, that could be years.
Yeah.
like, why is the little bit of limited information that we have, why is this even, this shouldn't have even been a thing.
Yeah.
Like, why did you even bring this much out? I'm like, what are you guys thinking? This is silly.
Yeah, and like how like successful can he even really be with it? I mean, yes, he's been very successful with the WWE, but that's just it. You hear Vince McMahon, you hear wrestling, you don't hear movies and TV. I can't. I just don't.
Well, just like how he thought he could create something better than the NFL, the National Football League, and you create the XFL. That was such a flop. It flopped. And then you got The Rock coming in and revamping it, redoing XFL, and it still flopped. It's like, okay, clearly this idea doesn't work. Just scrap it. Just don't.
Yeah.
But yeah, so apparently it's focusing this entertainment hub company, in quotes is what they're calling it. It's going to focus on producing film and TV projects in the realms of fiction and nonfiction. But I thought this part was interesting is that Brad Blum, who is the former COO of WWE under Vince McMahon, he is involved in this.
That's not
and so is yeah, get this. This past May, Blum resigned after it was discovered that he was corporate officer number 2 in Janelle Grant's lawsuit. Shocking that he's aligning himself with that weird sicko, Vince McMahon. Freaking perv. I'm sorry. It's just so gross. And then a lady named Kristen Prouty, who is a former WWE executive, instrumental in ushering Logan Paul into WWE, is also supposedly connected to the project. She was laid off. Endeavor laid her off in May after they bought WWE. So of course, I think she was one of the executives that Vince McMahon brought back when he came back to WWE after retiring. So I just thought, I'm like, dude, I don't know how well you think this is going to work, but I don't think it's
I don't
think this is going to work. I do not think this is going to work in any way, shape, or form. I mean, and I think even if it were to work, I think it would only be a matter of time before Vince McMahon would go back into doing something pro wrestling related.
Yeah.
I don't think this is going to work because with all the evidence that we've already been exposed to about this case with Janelle Grant, dude, no. Like if I was a business owner or if I was an investor, I would not want to be within 5 feet of him. No, absolutely not. No. Absolutely not. No. So I don't think it's a good idea. I don't think it's going to work, but I've said this before when Earl first brought out the whole Vince McMahon thing. I said, Vince McMahon is super duper smart, like business wise, he's a genius, but like morally and stuff, yeah, no, he's not a good person, not a good person. No. The other thing that I found that was very interesting was this WWE ID, which is World Wrestling Entertainment Independent development. So what this is basically it's a way. So WWE, again, they're always looking to grow and expand, and we know that's something that they're very good at. But they are combining efforts with various wrestling schools across the country to identify and develop new talent and give them a leg up into becoming a part of WWE. So I thought this part was pretty cool. The wrestling schools, they are partnering with our Reality of Wrestling, which Booker T runs out of Houston, Texas. Cody Rhodes Nightmare Factory, which is out of Atlanta, Georgia. Seth Rollins Black and Brave Academy, which is in Davenport, Iowa. Elite Pro Wrestling and Knox Pro Academy in Los Angeles. So those are the first few schools that are in partnership with WWE. I think this is fantastic.
I do too. No, I do too, because it's just bringing in more talent. I mean, like, not that WWE doesn't already have it, but they can always use more talent, because once those that are getting older retire, you have these new ones coming in that can follow in their footsteps and make it just as good. And they can even learn from the veterans and like carry on with that and everything. I like it a lot too.
Yeah, I mean, and I think too, again, I'll bring up Motor City Machine Guns. Sorry if I sound like I'm beating a dead horse, but these guys have been what? These guys worked for 18 years to get to WWE, and they finally are there now. Imagine how much a program like this, a partnership like this, could have helped them.
Yeah.
But granted, I think all the years of experience and, traveling throughout the world and wrestling all over, learning different styles, I think that is what got them to look and perform the way they do today. But imagine how much something like this could have helped them back in the day.
Yeah.
And we could have had more time, to enjoy seeing them on TV and PLEs and stuff like that. So I think this is cool. I'm totally down for it. I think this is cool.
No, yeah, I'm all for it. I like it.
Now, if only AEW could do something like this, that would be great. Like I said last week, hear that, TK? Please. I think a really good idea would be for Tony Khan to make Ring of Honor his form of NXT. You're nurturing and bringing in the new up and coming talent and getting them ready to go over to Dynamite and Collision and Rampage, which after the first of the year, they're not doing their Friday night show anymore. That's been nixed. But I think it's a smart idea. I think it's a smart thing to do. So yeah, I thought those two things were kind of interesting. You got crazy Vince McMahon on one hand, and then you got WWE nurturing new talent on the other.
The proper way.
The scale kind of balances itself out.
It does.
The scale balances itself. So yeah, I thought those are two interesting things. Like I said, I just found that after work tonight. So just wanted to share that with you and with you guys and see what you guys thought about it. So yeah, and then I believe this will be the final topic of the evening. So the next thing that we have to discuss is, let me get to it here. Oh yeah. Crown Jewel predictions. Dun, dun, dun.
Oh man.
I still can't believe they have 7 matches on this.
I saw it. I was like, wait, what? There's 7?
Yeah. Like 7. There's 7 matches on this. I'm like, oh God. Well, 2 of them are just kind of like, I really could give a crap about. Sorry, no offense to anybody. If you're pumped about this, cool. But I'm just not. So you got Gunther and Cody Rhodes, and then Nia Jax and Liv Morgan going after that fancy Crown Jewel title. I still think the men's title looks way too big.
Yeah.
That men's title is it's obnoxiously large. It looks super strange. I'm not feeling that at all. There really hasn't been any build. I said this last week. There hasn't been any build for these matches.
Nope.
It was announced at a PLE, 3 weeks ago? And then they've had very limited. So they did something where Liv Morgan came to SmackDown and was messing with Nia Jax. And then he had Cody Rhodes go to Raw for a promo. And then Gunther was just on SmackDown this past Friday for a promo. Whoop-de-doo. Otherwise, both of these sets of people have nothing to do with the other.
Yeah, and how much I don't care about the match either, too. Like when Gunther and Cody were in the ring, I'm like, I wasn't even. I think I had it.
Yep.
Oh no, I had the volume on, but I literally was watching videos on my phone. I was not even paying attention to them. That's how much I don't care about this match. So I don't even know what was exchanged between the two of them.
A whole lot of nothing. That's what was exchanged. A whole lot of nothing. Well, it was just, yeah, just not good.
Oh boy.
I mean, Gunther thinks he's being slick, and he's not. He sounds like a horse's ass, pardon my language. He sounds like, I don't know. I know a lot of people really like Gunther. I personally, I think he's boring.
Mhm.
He's boring. He's hardly ever on Raw. He never defends the title. Like, no. I don't like it. He pretty much has a part-timer schedule.
Yeah. Mm-mm.
I'm sorry. He's boring. I would rather have the title have stayed on Damian Priest. At least that was entertaining.
Yeah. This
is not.
He did.
He is not entertaining at all. He's good in the ring. Yeah, he's a great wrestler, but he is boring. Super boring. So, yeah, I really don't care about the men or the women's match with this Crown Jewel title. I really don't care.
No. Yeah. I mean, even though Gunther has the upper hand, I just feel he has the upper hand in this, but
Yeah.
I have a feeling Cody is winning this. I just have an inkling that he is going to win this match. Because I mean, like, why would they have Cody Rhodes lose to Gunther? I mean, come on. I hate the dude. And
I suppose I could see that. Well, because you got to figure, the undisputed title that Cody has, that is they say it's like the top prize, quote unquote, the number one title,
Mm-hmm.
In WWE. So, I don't know. It's hard to say. Excuse me. It's hard to say at this point, who would win the title, who's going to win the title. But like I said, I really don't care.
Yeah. And for Liv and Nia, the only way Liv is winning this is outside interference.
Oh, yeah. There's going to be shenanigans. Raquel Rodriguez is going to march her flat-chested self down there. And
Sarah!
I'm sorry, but it's like, dude, put a shirt on. Like, no. Just no.
God. That's hilarious.
Just no. Raquel is going to come down there. Pardon my language, y'all, dumbass Dom, as I like to call him.
He is a dumbass.
He's going to come down there. I don't know about if Finn would necessarily come down there and interfere, but because he had this look on his face, and he walked away when that whole Judgment Day interaction was going on backstage with Dominic and everybody. He looked like he felt he'd been slighted by what people were saying back there. Like nobody was listening to him about how to approach his, Dominic wasn't listening to Finn about how to approach his match with Damian Priest last night. But just goes to show you, Judgment Day is boring as ever. They win the same way. It's like Bloodline 2.0.
Yeah.
But
literally.
But yeah, like Liv, they're gonna, Judgment Day is gonna come down there and I'm sure interfere in some way, shape, or form. Or if they come down and interfere, they're not successful, Nia Jax wins, I could see that being the moment where Tiffany Stratton cashes in. And I think she's going to cash it on Nia.
Okay.
Especially, remember a couple weeks ago on SmackDown where Nia, like, put her hand around
Yes.
her throat and was
Oh,
like
yeah.
like choking her or whatever.
Yeah.
No,
That would have been the final straw.
Like
for
I
me,
said,
too.
absolutely not. Nope. It's like I'm just not sure which one I dislike more, Naya or Liv, because I can't stand either one.
Either one of them. Yep.
I can't
I'm
stand
in that
either one of
same
them.
boat with you, girl.
So that's again, that's another reason why I just really don't care, because
Mhm.
I don't think either one. I don't think either one of them are very good. So,
Yeah.
and you've heard me say this before. Has Nia Jax improved since she came back? Yes, she has. However, she's still not very good. Period. She's just not very good. So that's why I just don't care.
Yeah. Agreed.
But yeah. Then we have this is one of the matches I'm looking forward to. Seth Rollins and Bronson Reed.
I mean, that did help add to on Monday, last
Oh
night.
yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
So, I mean,
'Cause I have to
I love
say,
their build.
I really like all this, like the backstage, just generally
Yes.
speaking, not even just with this particular. Sorry, my husband's making dinner and he's making noise, so I apologize, guys. I need to get tin foil for the garlic bread. I'm so sorry. So if you hear noise in the background, that's what it is. But just generally speaking, I love all of like the backstage, like,
The two of them.
jumping somebody from behind backstage and taking, a match, like they're brawling backstage, or they start backstage and they get in the ring, or they start in the ring and then
Bringing
they
it
take
backstage.
Like,
Yep.
yeah, like the production lately has been wonderful. They've been doing
Yeah.
a very good job, both Raw and SmackDown. I still think Raw has a bit of an edge, but that's just me, because SmackDown's was boring, and they had a really long stretch there where I'm like, okay, this sucks. Like, this is really, really boring. There's nothing really fascinating going on right now. But yeah, I really like the way they've handled this feud. I mean, if there's anybody that has a reason to go after Bronson Reed, it's Seth Rollins. After Bronson Reed gave him, what was that, six or five tsunami?
Something like that.
Yeah, I mean, we talked a little bit about this last week. I mean, the man was like trying not to get sick in the ring, because he was squished so much, with having those frog splash tsunami things done to him. I mean, I was worried. I was really worried that like he got a lung punctured or something. So I'm excited for this match. I wonder though, with all the brawling they've been doing backstage, if maybe they're going to add some kind of like well, maybe not, because it's already this week. Never mind. It's already this weekend.
They've done last minute.
I was like, what if they do? Yeah, what if they make it like a hardcore match or something like that, or no DQ match?
Of the PLE, because I mean, like I can't remember what match it was. Was it? Oh my god! It was Kevin and Randy versus who? Oh my god! Was it Solo? It was Kevin and Randy.
Was it the match the triple threat match they had against Logan Paul? I know they did that, I think, at WrestleMania.
No,
but
it was a tag team match, and they turned it into a tornado tag team match, and I was just like, thank you. I just cannot remember.
I think it was Solo. I think it was maybe Solo and Tama Tonga.
I think that's what it was. Yes,
yeah,
I think that's what it was. And I was like, they can even do that, like literally after the match has already started, and change it. And I was just like, anything can happen.
I suppose, because Nick Aldis did change it. Like, I think as one of the teams was going down to the ring.
Yeah.
Didn't he I think that's when he announced it, was like when they were going to the ring.
Something like that.
Hey, it would, give an edge to it, which would be, which is cool. So, So yeah, I am looking forward to that Seth Rollins and Bronson Reed match. I mean, Seth is one of the best people. He is. I love him. I love his goofy, weirdo personality. I love the crazy stuff he wears. I just get a kick out of him. I just love him. But he has been to the top of the mountain a few times. And if there is anybody that understands about putting over another talent, it's Seth Rollins. So I do think Bronson Reed will end up winning the match. I think Bronson Reed will end up winning. Or maybe if they're planning on doing more than one match with these two, maybe Seth will win the first one. Bronson Reed can win the next one as revenge or what have you. But if this is the only match these two are going to have, I think Bronson Reed definitely needs the win more than Seth Rollins does. So you're building up a talent, which is cool. So this match, this next one, I am looking forward to as well because I'm very interested in the storyline. So it's Randy Orton versus KO.
Oh, yeah.
So what do you think about that one?
I am looking forward to it too because I love the both of them. And just even like Randy just practically begging for it, and Kevin just like having every excuse in the book of why he did what he did and everything. I'm excited for it. Very excited.
You know, it's going to be
win it. I couldn't freaking tell you.
That's the thing. It's like, on one hand, I think Randy Orton should win. Obviously, he is my favorite. One of my all-time favorite wrestlers is Randy Orton. Huge Orton fan over here in this household. But I also think KO needs the win because, as previously mentioned on SmackDown, he's been on a massive losing streak.
Yeah.
You know, like Randy Orton would be fine if he lost.
Yeah.
However, a lot of people think that KO is being, cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs and that he should lose. But I think KO needs the win more than Randy Orton does. But this, I am very interested in what, in this feud and what they have going on, because then you got also the other part of that is the Cody Rhodes factor. How I think what they do in this match is going to play into what happens down the road
with Cody.
With Cody. Yes.
Agreed.
Yes. So I think this is the catalyst to where, I mean, maybe we'll see where, KO has, convinced Randy Orton to see things from his perspective, like, oh my gosh, Cody Rhodes really is messing up and he shouldn't have teamed up with Roman Reigns in that tag match against Solo, and oh my gosh, what a slime ball. Or I could also see it because what is one of the nicknames they call Randy Orton?
There's a lot. The Legend Killer. There's Legend Killer. Which
He
one
kills
are you aiming towards, though? He's been called a lot.
He's been called a lot. I was aiming for the Viper. I would not be surprised. I would not be surprised if Randy Orton orchestrated this entire thing to be able to go after Cody Rhodes for the title.
I mean, he is cunning.
It wouldn't surprise me.
He is very,
so that's why I'm interested. It's like, it's not predictable. It's not boring. There's different directions they can go in with this. So I'm really interested to see how this one plays out. Really interested. So
I mean, with Randy being a face right now, Randy's not a face. Randy is a heel. You hear Randy Orton, you hear heel. That's all there is to it. And again, like we've discussed in the past, they are not going to turn Cody heel any freaking time soon. anytime soon. So I mean, like
No.
it works too with Randy going
Yeah.
against Cody as a heel.
Sure, sure. Yeah, Mitch says this should kick off the show. Um, I guess, I mean, if you want to use the same uh, kind of formula that they used for the last PLE, um, where they started, I still think this was a mistake, where they started off with the Hell in a Cell with Punk
Oh,
and
agreed.
McIntyre.
That should have
That
been the
I
very
think
last.
that should have been the main event. That should have been the very last match of the show. So if they want to follow that, if they're going to follow that sort of formula where they start off with something very, you know, prominent, something people are interested in, that I could see. Otherwise, and I'm sure because it's Crown Jewel, the main event's gonna be it'll be the Crown Jewel, the men's and the women's Crown Jewel championship matches, I'm sure. But yeah, or I could see them starting off with the women's tag match. I think that would be a good place for it because if you have, you've got, so like I said before, tag team wrestling is something that WWE has struggled with for a while. So this is just my perspective, like where I'm, like my thought process with this is that they already struggle with booking good tag team wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
Women's tag wrestling has been terrible. It's been so bad. And you don't want to have a really high intensity match or a match that has a really great storyline to go along with it. And then you have that women's tag match right after, because that, you think it's going to fall flat if you start off with something like that. It's going to be even worse if
Yeah.
that follows a really, high intensity or really, storyline driven match. So I think the best thing to do would be to start off with the women's tag match. And that one's, you got Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair versus Damage Control. I still don't understand why these two ladies are on the show, but whatever. Then you've got the two gals from NXT, Lash Legend and Jakara Jackson, and then Chelsea Green and Piper Niven, which, again, this is another match I really don't
Care about.
give a care. I really don't care about this one. So I could see them keeping the titles still keeping the titles on
Jade and Bianca.
Bianca and Jade, yeah. So I could see that being the case, but I think maybe they should start off with this match.
Yeah, I agree.
I think, like I said, you think it's bad normally if you have this follow a really high intensity or really popular, well thought out match, it's going to fall even more flat. So, who I think is going to win? Like I said, I think that the current champions, Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair, need to win. And I realized I just skipped past a match on this nice handy dandy list that Mitch has up here. So,
well, I have many things to say about 2 out of the 3 of these people. So,
yeah. You have LA Knight versus Andrade versus Carmelo Hayes. So it's a triple threat match for the United States Championship. So what do you think about it, Denise?
I want to say let's go Andrade, even though I know LA Knight's retaining.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Lord.
Yeah.
I still don't understand the pedestal they are putting him on. I can't get behind him. I can't.
I know it's rough. I know you don't get it. I mean, I'm just kind of like, well, he's at least defending the title. He is at least elevating that title a bit definitely more than Logan Paul did.
Well, I mean, he did kind of put himself
to put it on him.
Too.
Oh yeah, for sure, because he totally screwed around with both of them during their match on SmackDown. So of course,
Mm-hmm.
like he didn't think there was going to be any consequences, but I really
I
I
don't need
think it's too soon for Carmelo Hayes to hold the title on the main
yeah.
roster. I'm sorry. He is very good, okay? I get it. He is very good, but he's only been on the main roster a couple of months, guys. Like I
He's
don't
yeah.
think no, he's not at that point. He is
Mm.
not at that point. Um, Andrade, I guess you could kind of say the same for Andrade just because he just returned to WWE. I
He's
know
held
you
the title
came,
before though.
but he's held the title before on the main roster. So, Wesley, you're funny. But yeah, I do have a sneaky suspicion that LA Knight's gonna end up
That's
retaining, which is perfectly fine. Like I said, because he's been doing a good job with the title. He's definitely did a better job than Logan Paul did. Elevated the title. He's been defending it. It's
Logan
been
should have never had
shown.
possession of it.
No, and again, for those of you who don't know, a lot of people might know my disdain for part-timers having titles. I didn't
Mm-hmm.
like it when Roman had the title. Didn't like it when Logan Paul. You are basically bogarting that title and holding others back from being able to pursue it, and it's not okay. So if you're not full-time, you should not have a title. Period. Goes for anybody. WWE, AEW, I don't care. But LA Knight has done such a good. I think he's done a much better job with it than Logan Paul. So
Oh, for sure.
it makes sense for him to retain here. It really does. And then this must be something new. I didn't know that. When did they announce this match? So there's a match with Roman and the Usos, so it must be a 6-man tag match.
Oh yeah, I saw
Yeah,
something.
they announced it on Twitter today.
Yeah. I was gonna say I saw
Oh,
it on Twitter. I was like, what in the
oh
frick is
wow.
this crap? What?
Yeah, I didn't because I was like trying to remember to SmackDown. I'm like, I don't remember this.
It was announced on, like Mitch just said, Twitter. I'm like, what? Okay, why? What? I thought that's what Survivor Series was for. Unless this
Yeah,
is just
no
the beginning of it.
kidding. It must be. I mean, so it's a 6-man tag with Roman and then Jimmy and Jay versus the Bloodline, which Solo, Tamatonga, and Tangaloa, and Jacob Fatu. Okay, so you're doing 3-on-4, or is it going to be some sort of combination of the three? I could see it being Solo, Tamatonga, and Jacob Fatu.
I was gonna say they need to take Tongaloa out. Yeah,
Yeah,
not
he's
need
he's the weakest link. Goodbye.
yeah, he is.
He's the weakest. So, yeah, this is interesting. So this must have been announced because I know they filmed SmackDown, the SmackDown that's airing this Friday. I know they filmed it last week because they're going to be in Saudi. So they filmed it last week when they were in Brooklyn. So it makes sense, but I still don't think they should have announced it on Twitter. I don't think that was cool because you're kind of giving spoilers away for SmackDown on Friday.
Yeah, I was gonna say there is that. I did see something on Twitter. I don't know if Mitch saw it, and I don't know if like I should just say anything or if I should just kind of leave it, but there was a clip that it was quick. It wasn't even necessarily a clip. It was more of like just a recording that was obviously that was posted, but spoiled what's going to happen on Friday. So, I mean, like, it's a spoil, but it's not a spoil because you don't know what happens. But, I mean, it's somebody who shows up.
Who's gone just yell up to me whenever.
So somebody comes back to SmackDown this Friday, shows up to SmackDown this Friday?
Yes, they had shown up recently, but I mean, then they're showing
Oh,
up.
is it Jay?
No.
Jey Uso? Oh, because I was like, they announced that last night on Raw that he was going to go to
Mhm.
SmackDown and like talk to Roman or whatever.
Yeah. So again, like I don't know how many people saw it, but I mean, somebody I guess who was ever there posted on Twitter, and it was kind of a spoil. But again, I mean, I don't know necessarily if something happened or not, but I mean, if it'll play a part in this match.
Hang on. Because I don't mind spoilers.
If you can find it, if you can't find it.
Oh, shoot. That's going to be.
No, Mitch, not Joe Hendry. Get lost.
No, I highly doubt that. Let's see. Sorry, y'all. I'm looking. Let's see.
We're talking about the bloodline, Mitch. Not thank you. Not Joe Hendry. No. Just no. He can stay on TNA. He can stay over there.
Huh. I'm reading. It doesn't say anything. Well, I'll have to check it out because it doesn't say that anybody like bloodline related showed up
Well,
other than Jay because like I mean they announced it last night on Raw that he was going to SmackDown on Friday to, squash his beef with Roman. So
yeah. Well,
I could see since they're doing that match, maybe that's where Paul Heyman comes back. Is for that match.
Well, I mean,
That would be cool.
that is definitely that would be cool. But unless too, because I mean, I guess since you couldn't find it, I mean the Mr. Dwayne Johnson.
Oh God, not
Made an appearance.
again.
So I don't know if So, but that was all it was. It was just a quick like clip of him. The person was up high and everything. And I
Yeah.
know for a fact that it wasn't bad blood because the person had the word SmackDown, like the SmackDown hashtag.
Okay.
Or whatever.
It wouldn't surprise me if he came out. If he came out, I could see Roman and the Usos losing on Saturday to again make them realize, okay, now with The Rock now being involved, now we definitely need more help. And I think that was why they reintroduced Sami Zayn into the fold for the bloodline stuff, because I think he's going to end up being involved one way or the other. I think Sammy's going to end up being involved. So, I know some people might not like that. Some people might be okay with it, but I guess we will just have to wait and see.
Exactly.
So, but I do think that, especially if The Rock shows up, I think that Roman and them are losing.
Mm-hmm.
So, so that is that is that. That is the Crown Jewel lineup / predictions. Did you want to still do the Chat GPT thing, Mitch? Mitchell Foley.
Get your ass out here.
I'm already here. I'm already here. What was that?
I was like, did you still want to do the Chat GPT game thing?
Okay, I'll bring it up. Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Let's see here. The best submission moves of all time, right?
So, yes, I believe that's what we had discussed. Yeah, best submission finisher of all time. So this is something we like to do once in a while. We've done it a few times where Mitch will bring up Chat GPT and we search a topic, and then it just gives us something else to talk about. Whether it's number one.
It's just like a reaction. It's like a reaction.
Yeah, like best wrestler or whatnot. I like that. What we did last week though.
Last week that was fun too.
That was really fun.
Oh, what? Where Oh yeah, the randomizer. Yeah.
Yeah. Where
Yeah.
we're like, oh, is this person better than that person? And we, say yes or no
Yeah.
or whatnot. That's fun.
We can do that maybe next week or the show after.
Yeah.
We'll talk.
Yeah,
We'll talk.
sure.
But yeah, so the sharpshooter's number 1. No surprise. Actually, wait, let me go. No, let's start at 10. Cobra Clutch, Sergeant Slaughter, typical. Jericho, Lion Tamer, Walter Jericho. Oh no. I could definitely see what Denise is going to say for the next one.
Hi guys.
No.
Hi guys.
No, I was talking about this.
I mean, this one just called you that. I didn't. You're welcome.
Yeah, I said Mitchell Foley. Where are you?
Get your ass out here, boy.
Yeah, Mitchell
Yeah.
Foley.
Stream Punk Entertainment, this is the normal. This is the normal.
It is very much a norm.
Chris Benoit, Crossface.
Oh, and good fun. Yeah, that one, I think that one was
honestly,
very effective.
That one's my favorite.
I don't know. Wow.
Out of all of these, I think these are this one's my favorite.
What?
The Crossface.
Okay.
I think that's
that one. I mean, that was pretty effective. It was quite effective.
Yeah. The Angle Lock, Kurt.
Oh. Yeah. I mean,
I laugh when I think of Kurt Angle because he was always so funny.
The Yes Lock, Daniel Bryan. Or Bryan Danielson.
Oh, the LaBelle Lock. Yeah. He does. Yeah, he's done that move for many, many years. So yeah, that is also very effective.
STF. I liked it when they did the other name. But
yeah. I know what you're talking about. Yes. Well, that's not appropriate. That's not appropriate for the PG audience. Sorry.
Do you think when John Cena comes back and they're on Netflix, will they use that?
you never know.
Please
So,
do. Please.
This is what I think about that. So I understand people are like, oh, great, we're going to see more blood. We're going to hear more cussing, less bleeping out and stuff. But, when you're constantly cussing or constantly have blood, and I know this from watching AEW, it doesn't, when you do something all the time, it becomes much less effective.
Yeah.
So I don't think I don't think they would call it something different. I don't think they would go back to that old name. But you never know. I could see somebody maybe slipping up and calling it that once in a while, but
I just
that's
want
just
it back.
me.
That is it. I want it back. Hell's Gate.
Yeah.
God, I miss the Hell's Gate.
Which one?
The Hell's Gate.
Gate. Yeah.
I remember
that
they
was a
actually
good one.
banned it for the storyline. I liked that part when they banned it. 2,
Yeah.
Ric Flair. Yeah.
Woo!
Not surprised. Not
Yep.
surprised. And number 1, we
Not
already said
surprised at all.
it. Sharpshooter. I want to check something. Let's add 3 more.
3? Just 3?
Yeah. Brock Lesnar at 11.
Oh God, come on, please. Freaking
Banks. Sasha Banks at 13. 2 more.
See,
Like I said,
you were gonna do it.
There you go.
Yeah,
Like I
I was
said.
wondering where that was. Like that, the Cat Crusher is very. So is the Accolade. Accolade's nasty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So there's the 15. If you want me to keep going, I can. If you want to call it, we'll call it.
15 is fine. I mean, that's a pretty good list. And it's funny because it's some of these moves, it's like you don't really think about, especially because some of these wrestlers, they're retired or maybe they're not on TV very often. So I thought that was a really good list. I mean, and it's something, especially with the sharpshooter, unless it's, Natty doing it, it's like you don't really think about the sharpshooter, really.
Yeah.
You think about the figure 4 because it's Charlotte.
And
So-
Andrade's using it too.
Yeah. Yep. And now Andrade's using it as a way to honor Ric Flair, his father-in-law, which, okay, when are we going to get Charlotte back? I mean, I really hope.
I was going to add that, but then I was like, let's save it because I think it's going to be at the Rumble or Survivor Series. One of those two.
Oh,
if it's Crown Jewel, I'll be shocked.
I don't think.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be. I don't necessarily think it's going to be Crown Jewel.
She has no place coming back there yet.
No, and I do think, again, like I said, I think that if Nia does end up winning against Liv Morgan, I could see Tiffany Stratton cashing in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could definitely see Tiffany Stratton cashing in.
Okay with that.
I think it's only going to. I think Charlotte will come back to pursue Tiffany Stratton for the title. That's what I think.
That's going to be a Mania.
Yep. Oh yeah, for sure. That's definitely that's a WrestleMania match for sure. So, but yeah, so that's what we have. That's all we got for you guys this week. So again, thank you, Mitch, as always, for your hard work and your help and encouragement. Appreciate it very much. Thank you, Denise, for being with me every Tuesday night. It wouldn't be the same without you. Thank you to everybody that joined us in the chat, Wesley and Earl and everybody. We, again, thank you. And thank you so much to Stream Punk. You guys have been wonderful. Really excited to get to know you guys more and get to work with you guys. So once again, Wesley says #evil laugh. Mwahaha.
What did I do to you, Wesley? What did I do to you?
It's funny. That's why. It's funny. So once again, Queens of the Ring. It's our weekly show we do every Tuesday evening. It's on the Hardcore Sports Network and Stream Punk Entertainment. Please like and subscribe and follow us on social media. But yeah, thanks everybody for being here with us, and we'll see you guys next week.
Yep. See you guys. Bye.
Bye guys.